Hello guys, here today at the sports centre completing our spring maintenance on the green roofs for the university. This was the contract that helped us win the job, and I thought explaining why this one was wrong, what we did to put it right, would be a good way of helping to understand, like, the most important thing in greenery is probably the growing medium. So two sedum roofs that you can see here. When we were contacted about them, they'd been laid, as you sometimes see in specifications. They'd been laid, the blanket immediately straight onto the waterproofing. So there was literally no growing medium. Now, for whether that was just value engineering, deliberate, whether it was unintentional, shall we say, we were called after, I think it had been down, I don't know when it was put down exactly, but a few years ago, 3 months after it had been put down in the summer, dried out, and then when the first autumn storm came along, literally part of the roof blew off into the car park overnight, which kind of gave a clue that it hadn't been installed properly. So reasonably straightforward to put right. It was easy to lift. The roots hadn't got anything to take in. We literally just peeled back the substrate, peeled back the blankets, I beg your pardon, added some of the components that are required. We were relatively relaxed about drainage board because, as you can see, there's large areas of waterproofing where there's no obstruction to stop water clearing away. So we did away with the drainage board. There's a protection layer. There was the additional substrate to bring it up to 60 mil, in line with the recommendations, the national guidelines, GRO. The blanket went then over the top with the 500 mil, give or take, shingle border, which is recommended as a fire break for commercial roofs. I'm off tomorrow to actually to Milan and Lucca with Stefan Brenneisen and the team from Zurich School of Applied Sciences. They've got a green roof research department there. That was my route into to green roofs, and I'm lucky enough that every year they invite me back to have a chat with the students coming through about what it's like running a green roof business that tries to embody some of the best practice that they come up with over there. And those of you who remember the hay base that I've been talking about recently, it was those guys that came up with the original versions of that with materials that are available in Switzerland. Anyhow, one of the amazing things about Basel, Switzerland generally, is that it's not only that the standards are high and that the experts are written into the design process. So in Switzerland, you've got a green roof, you either have to have it designed by Stefan and his team, or it has to be signed off by. Not only that, but after it's been installed, someone from the university then goes back to make sure that it's been done properly, that it's not substrate's not been skimped on, that the plant's been seeded in the right way, and that it's got off to its best possible start to perform in the way that it's needed. Now, I mention all of this because they've just introduced an obligation to have the substrate in Basel at 120 millimeters. To give you some example, this is 60 mil, and very often you see it reduced substantially below that. Now, the right depth of good quality substrate, I would say, is the single biggest thing that we can all do as designers, as installers and maintainers of green roofs, and indeed as clients, demanding this, to get enough substrate. Not only gives the plants the best chance of surviving drought. I'd say the best green roof in London is a small one that John Little did. I believe it was John Little, on a council estate in Hammersmith. We look after it now for the managing agents on behalf of the borough authority. But John's put in there, like, it's concrete deck, so there's a lot more permissive in terms of the weight, but there's 250 millimeters of substrate in places, undulating. It's fantastic. You go back there in the middle of that 3 months, or towards the end of that 3-month drought that we had last year, everything was still fine. So enough substrate. Admittedly, you can't get 250 on every roof, but push it and push it and push it. And if you design in at the start for a heavier weight, it's very rarely a project killer, especially on small roofs. Small roofs meaning less than 100 square meters. So it provides the plants, which are one of the main reasons why one of the main benefits is the is rehabilitating the biosphere with the increased biodiversity. Best chance of it prospering is with added substrate. Not only that, one of the main reasons why it's stipulated by local authorities increasingly is so that the water, it retains 50% of the water. Retention is greater, but also detention. It slows the rate at which in dramatic downpours water enters the sewers. Now, it's estimated that at the current rate of growth, London's going to exceed the capacity of its sewers by 2030. So the built environment needs, and this is the reason why planning departments are getting stricter and stricter. The built environment needs to work harder at detaining the water that's running off. The final reason, or another, and the final one that I'm going to mention today, is that it increases the thermal mass of the building. There's this brilliant bit of research from Chicago City Hall, which shows that the city authority and the county authority both share the building. One of them invested in a 150 mil green roof and solar, and the other one just in solar panels. And data collected from inside the building on the top floor showed that the part of the building with a green roof, 95% less heat entered the building. Now it was demonstrated 25% less heat appeared to leave. So there is some thermal property in terms of U value, insulative potential, but very rarely would you get a reputable green roof person making strong claims about U values for green roofs, because it depends very much on how much water, how damp the substrate is. Conducts heat at different rates, and indeed the quality of the substrate will affect this too. Here we go. This roof is now to come back to this one. It's been brought up to the national standards and what it probably should have had in the first place. It's got very light touch maintenance. So we come once a year. Well, we come twice a year. Once a year in the spring, where we feed and weed, remove the invasives, clear away the drains, check on the I think this is a Sarnafill roof covering. Check on the Sarnafill roof covering that it's not been damaged over the year. And they've also got a metal roof up here above the basketball court, which they asked me to do a visual inspection for the metal terminations each year. And we come back in the autumn as we're doing the checklands, as you can see in the background, next to the, I don't know if you can see the Amex Stadium peeking out over there, and then we've got the education facility at the back there. Each one of these buildings, each one of these terraces has got a wildflower meadow on, as well as the main roof. So that one needs an autumn cut or a late summer cut. And while we're doing that, we come back here and just take out any pernicious weeds that we might find. Stitching time saves 9 approach by the university means that the whole of the roof fabric is looked after. Small problems are caught, and this thing isn't blowing off anymore. Not only is it not blowing off, but some of the research that we had when we were doing the hay base, we had some students up here, MA students up here from Brighton University, and they showed that at its peak, when it's flowering now, this roof has as much insect, as much invertebrate life on it as the meadow does on the building behind, which we've been looking after all this time. Okay. Plenty of substrate, guys, as much as you can get on. Don't stress about it. Press your architect to over-engineer it, and then make sure that the contractor delivers enough, puts it on in the right way. I'll talk about that in another episode. And well watered in at the start. And Bob's your uncle. You can be confident that the green roof's going to prosper. Okay, that's enough. Blimey, 8 minutes. Jesus.